So many places that I've never seen. So get up, get on the move, chasing that dream. Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, don't catch up to me.
What is going on, everybody? Hope you are doing well. Do us a favor, click that share button down in the lower left-hand corner. Got a little party started tonight. Got a few of the hosts in here. If you're joining us and you caught the show last week, so we kind of did like an open format. If you wanted to come on, talk about something kayak fishing related, promote your club, tournament, whatever. We're going to drop a link here in the comments, and you are more than welcome to join us. Again, we got a few of our hosts. We're just going to kind of reflect on the past, talk about the future, and everything in between. And we hope you guys are all doing well out there. Justin Staley in the chat, as always. What's up, brother? Said congrats on 2 years. If you didn't know, Paddle and Finn turned 2 years old yesterday. Yesterday was the when we launched the first episode. So we're going to have a little fun tonight. Again, if you guys want to join in on the conversation, click that link in the chat, and I'm going to post it throughout the night. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. I know we're going to have some hosts coming in and out here, but right now I got none other than the Trash Panda. I got
What's up?
Noob 2.0, and I got JP in the house.
What's up, JP? What's up, everyone?
Welcome,
Sean.
gentlemen. Welcome. Yeah, I didn't know Sean was wearing his normal attire this evening. Otherwise, I would have put a warning on here.
I know I feel under stress right now.
I had to do something to celebrate.
I like
man.
how one of his antlers or whatever.
Yeah,
that
my
is
kid's kind of trashed.
No,
trash this
it makes it way better, actually.
We got Miss Jean Wilson in the house. How you doing, darling? Hope you're well. She said happy anniversary. Michael Antunez. I hope I pronounced that right. We got him in there. We got Marsh Madness. What's up, brother? What else we got in here? Jacob Ruff says, better get the Godfather in here. I actually fished with him last night up on Lake Delavan. That was a lot of fun. We put a hurting on some bass. So it was good, man. Adam Chapman in the chat. Congrats on 2 years. Keep it up. Thanks, brother. Gene Wilson says you're scary, Sean.
Thanks, Miss Jean. I appreciate that, I guess.
So I don't even know where to start, guys. I mean, obviously, I think out of you three, Josh has been around the longest. JP and Sean are kind of the new guys. David Otto in there. What's up, guys? What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Josh, I mean, what's up, dude? I mean, how's the journey been so far?
It's been disappointing, man. Dude, it's been a blast, dude. I've had a lot of fun doing it. It's been really cool to see the progression of the pod itself as a whole, as well as the final cast, like,
Sure.
I mean, for those who listen to the final cast, when it first started, it was quite the sound and audio like horror show, basically. Like, we had my mic was really high, and it was kind of weird because I was using earbuds and mic'd up earbuds on my phone, and I would set up my Ram X grip on like a bowl so it would sit up higher, and that's how I shot it. And I used a suction cup, like pop that thing on there, and but then I was with Justin when we first started, and Justin's mic stuff never worked right. He was really, really quiet, and he's a quiet dude anyway, so it made it even harder. So everybody'd have to turn it up for him and then turn it down because it sounded like I was screaming at everybody. But we worked through it a little bit, and then eventually Brad became my co-host, and Brad and I are friends. We've live right down the street from each other. And we fish together and stuff, so it kind of worked out really well for what the pod is. So if we get some products in, I can just jet down to his house real quick, drop it off, or vice versa. And I mean, heck, dude, like half the time I hit up the river, I'm driving past Brad's house, honking at his house as I'm going by, and like 90% of the time I can peek over and see him in his garage working on the kayak, and I'll circle back around.
No, it's cool, man. It's been a cool to see what you guys have done with that segment. Like you said, it started out rough, but like anything, man, we work through it and continue to try to progress with it. And I mean, some of the episodes you guys have done, like just in the past few months, have been pretty epic, man. And I dig what you guys are doing over there, trying to keep it, just changed up all the time, consistently. And speaking of the devil, we got B-Rad in the house.
What's up?
What's up, Brad?
I like your outfit.
Thanks, brother.
JD DeRosier's in the house. What's up, brother? JD's been a guest on here numerous times. He was actually on the 1-year anniversary podcast. And then we had him on at the beginning of the year as well. Good dude. I love JD. But yeah, man, we were talking about, the progression of your guys' segment, Brad. I know you just kind of jumped in. And I JP's the newest guy, I think, right? It's either him or Jimmy.
Jimmy, I think.
Jimmy.
Slightly newer.
Jimmy's got you beat a little bit. And, Sean jumped on with Ryan to help him over there at Bass Fishing for Noobs. And that's another dynamic that's worked out really well. I know Ryan was kind of like on the fence, like, do I add a co-host? Do I not? And Sean had reached out, and those two hit it off right away, and it's kind of cool to see what you guys are doing over there as well, man. Definitely educating guys, and you guys have built a pretty cool community with this whole noobs tournament as well. So I know I saw a comment in here. I don't know who it is. It just says Facebook user, but this is brand new to yak fishing. This seems like a good place to start. Absolutely. We got the Bass Fishing for Noobs segment on Mondays on all the podcast platforms and our YouTube channel. And it's directed towards guys that are just getting into fishing or kayak fishing in general. So definitely check that out, man. Thanks for joining us for sure. But I guess we can go around, man. Like, what was if you had to name a moment or an interview or something like that that's been your favorite so far, what would you say it would be? We'll start with Sean because he's right next to me in here.
I'd say Alex Rudd. I really liked watching his videos, and holy cow, I mean, he is a awesome source of info. And I mean, he's a teacher, so he has that element to his stuff. And I love the way he talks and presents his information. He's a wealth of knowledge, but he's a down to earth guy too. So I think he was my favorite guy I talked to.
Super nice guy.
Yeah, I get that episode. It'll pop on when I'm in the car all the time, and that was definitely a good one, man. Definitely, like you're saying, he presents the info in a cool kind of way. Speaking of FNG, Jimmy in the house.
What's up, Jimmy?
This is gonna start looking like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, we're a happy family.
We're a dysfunctional happy family.
Screech over.
Sean,
I
what
wish
are
I
you
could have-
wearing?
Oh, I nothing, man. That's my normal Wednesday night or Thursday night attire.
Okay, cool. Works for me.
So, Josh, what about you, man? What's been like one of your favorite moments, interviews, things with the pod, whatever?
Oh man, dude, there's a lot of good interviews. I had a really good solo interview with Mike McKinstry. That was a good one. Brad and I did a really good one with the Z-Man dude, Glenn Young. Dude, he banged out a ton of information in regards to the chatterbait.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, dude, we just did a great one with Derek Horner for Angler, dude. That was a great episode.
Yeah, that got dropped today.
So, and we just want to keep plugging those away. Like we like to get people on here to showcase their products. We like talking about them. We like to review them and give our honest opinion about them. So, it's. But I mean, to be honest with you, I think one of my favorite moments, Brian, is when I came and visited you and that video you cut from it, like that host video. And it's not to be like self-centered, because the video was about me, but the video was hilarious. And that's what I was hoping that we would be able to do, is to showcase like how I really am. You know what I mean? I didn't want it to be like, oh, here's some spectacular angler, only catching all the good shots and stuff. I mean, he got me sitting there slamming my rod into the water after missing a fish and then laughing about it. And, it's just there was all kinds of funny stuff like that was clipped into that literally highlighted that trip coming to see you. And so, I mean, I'll still watch it and laugh, and I'm like, man, I need to get back up there and do this again,
Well, and that's interesting, right? Because that was real. That was real fishing. It's not that glamorized fishing, And I think that's what we all try to do with these podcast segments. Just keep it real. It's not, glamorized and only talking about the highs, so to speak. Definitely talking about the lows and bringing up ways to help change whatever that may be. So that's cool, man. I like that. What about you, Jimmy? I mean, you only got a few podcasts under your belt, man, but I mean,
some crazy people though in those few podcasts.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, like when I first got the opportunity to do this, I was like, man, like my goal would be talking to Greg Blanchard because he's the kayak angler I followed the longest, and that was like my first show.
Yeah.
So I was like,
right on.
Well, crap, now what? But that with him and Christine was a good one. But honestly, I've been the one we did with the Monday with the Canadian guys, and then the guys from Colorado. It's crazy that the places that are not thought about or talked about as much as bass fishing, like places, those guys have got some of the best information, and it makes for a really good show. And like those Canadian guys, man, like they come all the way down here and hammer it down in Tennessee and stuff. So, like he was saying, how they don't get a lot of clout and a lot of look, man. But anybody listening in the industry should pay attention because they got it going right.
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right, and that was kind of like the whole goal behind the Reel Down, right? Was to spotlight clubs and tournaments all across the nation, and now it's cool to see that you guys did that show with the Canadians, because that's another country, man. And it's funny, I was she just jumped in here, Susie. I was talking to Susie on the phone the other night, and I think we've been played in like, I think it was like 38 or 42 different countries.
Dude, that's
like sick. That's pretty crazy, man, when you think about that.
Wow.
And not only that, but the reason why Susie and I were talking about it, I was uploading, I think it was your guys' show with the Canadians, and we get some new analytics, and our audience, it'll break down male to female. Our audience level for females used to be 0%, and it's now 6%, which is cool. That says something, right? And so let me, I'm going to drop Noob 2.0 out of here.
See you guys.
I'll bring you back in, man. Stick around.
All right.
Let's get Susie in here because we're talking about this. I know I got Milford in the waiting room too. The queen.
Everybody bow down.
With their heads.
That's right. What's up? What's up? What's up?
We're not worthy.
Bow down to me, peasants.
Oh wow!
Damn,
Wow.
she came in
Wow.
hot.
Yeah. Oh, here's a funny comment. Duke says, "You dudes are 6% appealing to the ladies." Score.
Hey, there's a chance that's
So
ladies.
you're
in other
saying there's a
countries.
chance.
So
75% of the time it works every time.
Susie, you're stuck
Yeah,
dealing with like all us goofballs. Like, I mean, how has that been for you? I mean, I consider you like the little sister of the group, or maybe the
Right?
big sister. Sometimes it depends.
I feel like sometimes you have to be the mom. Like,
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You know, I play a lot of different roles and cards and whatnot. So it's definitely interesting. But, you know, I've never really felt out of place or anything like that. You know, I've just felt like, you know, part of the crew, like I belong, and, you know, don't really have any troubles or.
There might have been one time where she felt slightly out of place at the turkey bowl when I'm knocking on the door at like 12:30 at night, like, let me in, Susie. She's like, she was the only one there at the house, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. That feels like forever ago.
Yeah, it's freezing cold out there, and I'm like, this is so weird. Like, never met Susie ever.
Oh, that's funny.
You're like, who is this guy?
Like,
That's
she's
funny.
probably looking through the people, like, oh, I don't know about him.
This guy looks
Just call
shitty,
Brian
man.
real
Like, I
quick.
don't know what's going on.
Is somebody supposed to be here?
Brian,
That
there's a
doesn't look
dude
like
with
Duke
a-
out there.
It's a dude with a raccoon butt beard, like knocking on the door right now, dude. I'm like, who is that? That's just Josh. He's harmless.
Oh, that's too funny. That's too
Digging in
funny.
the trash again.
I mean, JP, we kind of skipped over to you, man. What's been your favorite moment so far, my man?
You know, so far, my favorite moment was definitely our pilot episode that me, you, Duke, and Dusty did, hands down. I mean, talking about Chicago and just the conversation we had in that episode, man. That but it set the tone for the rest of everything that's coming up. This episode with Sam was just as good,
Nice.
but definitely our pilot episode, that was awesome.
Right on. Be rad. I mean, you're like an OG now, bro.
Just a year 2.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I think Brad's favorite episode was the new canoe episode.
dude, that was a fun one, man. The
You
whole
got my
time.
name wrong, like the first half of it.
Well,
But
that's because I know a guy named Jeff Skinner. Like,
ah,
I personally know somebody, and I don't know. I
That's
felt bad.
Brad.
That's
Brad.
No,
Brad's favorite words, I don't know. Or I don't care.
I don't
Yeah.
whatever.
So if you had to nail it down, man.
My favorite episode, Glenn Young or Arachnet Lady.
Yeah, that one was
Michelle
good
Adams.
too, man, with Michelle Adams. Heck yeah.
I like how she had a chip on her shoulder.
Yeah,
I liked it. It was cool.
I dig it. I'm gonna pull JP out of here for a second. Should we like give this guy some intro music?
or you could just, if it's who I think it is, just go straight to roasting him.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
What's up, butthead?
Happy birthday!
I feel like he started the party early.
Yeah, dude.
You got
You
the
have your
40-ounce solo
I
cup
actually
rocket?
do not. I do not. I didn't get it set up in time. Dude, I've been going all day long. I missed a chiropractor appointment. They were able to schedule me in. I was still able to make it. And
You're just making it, man.
I'm making it.
Just making
How
it.
old are you? How old are you? Why are you going to chiropractor appointments already?
Because I've gained like 30 pounds being off work for 3 months, and my back hurts. Okay, it hurts real bad.
COVID affected me so bad.
Hey, when I first
COVID
started,
in my back.
when I first started going there,
It's COVID in my back.
when I first started going there, the chiropractor, I told him, said I gained a bunch of weight with me being off work. He's like, oh, so you got the COVID 20? I was like, what? He's like, COVID 20. Gained about 20 pounds. I was like, yeah, that's about right.
Oh, we broke Brian.
That's one of my favorite things when we break Brian. He just can't stop laughing.
That was before I ever was on the show, and I used to listen to the show, way back when. Hearing him like just lose it is hilarious on the podcast.
Hey, who was it? Was it Randall? Like his little hissing laugh? Was he the one with the hissing laugh?
I don't remember.
This is the greatest comment of the whole show. His back doesn't hurt. You just got to pee really bad. Now you gotta. That's my favorite podcast moment. Editing the podcast with Ryan Milford and Aaron Steiger, and you just see Milford like this backing up. And he runs for the door, and Aaron's like, "What just happened? Is everything okay?
You sent us that clip too.
Is this house on fire?" And then Milford comes back, and he's like, "Sorry, man, really had to pee. Just had to go, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off."
Do you still have that?
I do
you
somewhere.
should release that as a clip.
I do somewhere.
Yeah, I remember we talked about it. I wasn't sure if we ever did release it or not.
I'll do a short clip for you, post it on Instagram.
Yeah, I got it somewhere.
That made me think of the funniest thing I ever heard was the bike seat story.
Oh, yeah.
That I was dying on the way to work listening to that.
Oh my God.
So sometimes I forget Ricketts is still here.
Luke Coffey says we know Ryan hasn't hurt himself reeling in big fish.
Ooh, fired.
I hate that guy. Nah, I'm just playing.
Oh man,
Y'all
much
know
fun.
I like to trash talk a lot. Luke's pretty. I think he likes to trash talk too. So we got a similar personality as far as that goes.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Oh man. So since we're asking everybody, favorite moment in podcast history for Ryan Milford.
Dude, it's so hard to pick a favorite moment. I mean, I've had so many awesome guests. I mean, I've had Obie Williams, Jody Queen, Sean mentioned earlier, Alex Rudd, Jimmy. I thought it was awesome talking to Jimmy. It was a fun conversation. I don't know. I enjoy talking to all these people. So it's so hard to pick just one moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. If I have to pick one, I might have to go back to that Obie Williams episode because dude's hilarious.
Yeah.
And he's like talking with his hands and everything. And dude, it was great.
I was going to say that or Jody. Jody was a really good one.
Yeah. Yeah. Both of those were up there, man. I like Obie. He's a great guy, man. He's always got that like just hyped up energy, positive attitude nonstop. And just go, that guy, man.
It's the stuff you wish you could bottle up and sell, man.
Yeah, dude. And that's the thing too, is he's got an interesting story, like, to see where he's come from and where he's gone. He pretty much grew up, I think it was in Compton, like straight up the hood. And he knew if he didn't get out of there, that was the life he was going to have. And he got out, moved up on the Delta, started working. I think he works with his father or something, and just started putting out fishing videos and stuff, man. And look where it's got him. It's pretty crazy.
He's part of what is it? The dark Dark Horse,
Dark
whatever.
Horse Crew. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's with
Man.
Blanchard and all those guys.
I haven't heard much from them lately.
Well, I mean, they usually get together at all the tournaments out there. I know there's been some going on. I know Greg just won one out there recently
At
that I
San
heard.
Pedro or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But you got to think with this COVID thing and the way the tournaments have been, really the live tournament scene is just now kind of starting to get going, and it's not even really. It's still a lot of virtual parts to it, you know.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah. I haven't heard much from Bam Miller lately either.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I think he
Yeah,
went back
a lot of
to
people have been quiet.
a regular 9-to-5 job, so he's probably been busy
Yeah,
with it.
there's also, a lot of after effects that are going to be happening from COVID too. So, I'm going to be making an announcement about this too, but we just got notified that the women's event is being postponed until next year. So that's kind of a big bummer right now, just with the uncertainty of everything and, still having to social distance and not having groups of more than like 10 or something like that. They had to make the decision and cancel that. So, but like even at work right now, we had furloughs, but now they're done. But other workplaces like my husband's, they're going to be starting furloughs here soon. So, a lot of businesses that were trying to stay afloat are feeling the pinch, and having to make some changes and everything. So, people's lives and, works are being affected a lot. And at the Hobie Open down in Kentucky Lake, like it was definitely felt that, the pandemic was still going on because it was just me and our housemates, the four of us. There wasn't any live captain's meeting or anything. So it was just like, well, this is kind of weird. It's just us. So you kind of almost missed that competition part of it and that camaraderie part of it. So, yeah, I think this is going to be felt for the rest of this year.
Yeah. I'm still
Totally agree.
struggling with it right now. I'm setting up an event in August for the Bass Nation Alabama qualifier. And me, Dan, and another guy were talking about it last night. And it's so hard to set all the planning up because if you plan everything one way and the numbers the numbers have rose in Alabama again. Like all our local trails are going to stay they announced they changed it back to virtual. So, I can't plan for one thing for 100 people and then it changed last minute, or Gunnersville, the municipality and everything just changed their mind and like, no, we can't have that risk and liability, blah, 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 blah. And I know everybody, Alabama's open. So all these other states that are still more impacted are still feeling all this. I can, it's going to be like that all year, I assume, just like Susie just said.
Yeah. Let me, Brad, I'm going to drop you off for a second. I'll bring you back in shortly. But a guy that's been dealing with the front lines of this, man, Mr. JP, Chicago firefighter.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've seen good and bad. You care to talk about that at all?
By all means, man. I think the better question is, what is it that you want to know, or what do you want to hear?
I mean, it's
definitely,
it's been crazy for you. You and I have had personal conversations, seeing each other here and there, man. But I mean, first off, thanks for doing what you do, man. Keeping people safe out there, as a firefighter and helping out with the EMTs and stuff like that, man. But I mean, I didn't necessarily want to go down this rabbit hole, but I mean, how does it look? I mean, from what it was to what it is now, are we in better shape?
So, and I really hate to put my own personal perspective and twist into this. If we're keeping all personal thoughts and politics and everything off to the side, the virus itself right now is definitely down in terms of where the number of cases are coming. Or see, the biggest thing that the last states that weren't doing that Illinois is doing different the most is making sure that people are getting tested. COVID. So obviously, the more people you test, the more positive numbers you're going to have. So as you watch the news every day, they say, okay, there's 500 more positive cases. Well, that means of the goal that they try to do is 10,000 people tested a day. So you're only getting maybe that 20, maybe 15 to 20 percentile of people tested, which is what the number is. That's the number they want to meet to move into those phases. So looking at it, yes, it is getting better, but the uncertainty is how long will this trend of it being good for now remain? Because again, summer started, but we're already in July, and then come October and November when flu season starts again, is this going to, recycle itself and come back even stronger than what it did the first time? That's the uncertainty of this. Until there's something out there that could definitely say this can help prevent it becoming worse, it's really hard to say. We know, just like the flu, this doesn't really survive in the heat. So we're all, we're moving along fine now. Now, again, that's just the perspective from the medical standpoint. Sure. However, if you went down the other rabbit hole, I can tell you right now, there's definitely been people taking advantage of the situation at hand right now. People, and again, that's a lot of what's causing, things not being open or things remaining closed, so on and so forth. Because, again, if you see one state doing fine and not having numbers rise, but one state staying closed indefinitely and they're having the same result, what is actually going on? And sure. It's really hard to tell. It's hard to tell because, again, what's the population of the one state versus the other? Are they actually testing these people, where the numbers are reflecting from testing, not just people being admitted to the hospital then getting tested? Again, right. The biggest thing to any infectious disease is prevention and and controlling it. So right now, like I said, there's nothing written in stone for any kind of prevention or control from this point on. So it's very uncertain, and that's the scary part because there's talks that the next strand could be even stronger than what's out there right now.
For sure, right on. Thanks for that, man. I'm going to pull Josh out of here for a second. I'll bring you back in a second. We'll bring Noob 2.0 back in. Actually, I'll leave you in, Josh. I'm going to bring Noob in, and I'll pull out for a second. You guys can chat about whatever. So somebody's got to take the lead.
Yeah, get that ugly face out of here.
Oh. You can't start to roast Brian when he's on the way out, man. You gotta. You were just sitting.
Sean, what is on your head?
I had to, celebrate a little bit. This is my.
Well, I was gonna wear my birthday suit too, but I didn't know.
There's always time.
So
start the music. I'll do it.
Susie Q.
This thing shut down so fast, dude.
Susie Q. So we'll kind of go on what we were talking about because you came in after the fact, but what would be your favorite moment or like interview or whatever for the pod that you've done so far since you've been with us?
Man, I have done a lot of interviews with some awesome ladies. My favorite one, man, I don't know if I really have a favorite one. Definitely hearing the other ones when I get a chance to listen to. Definitely the bike seat one was pretty good.
Yeah, we gotta bring some after hours back.
I always drove off the road.
Yes,
laughing at that one. I was crazy.
It's been hard though because everybody's on the road right now, traveling. So, but we'll get it together.
Yeah. But favorite episode that I've done, man, I don't know if I really have a favorite one, I've enjoyed a lot of my conversations. One that really sticks out to me though, is, when I had Katie Baca on, she's, down in Texas, and after we got off of recording, we talked for an additional I don't know, like 2.5, 3 hours. It was just like, it was awesome. It just really stuck out because it was just like, man, I got that connection from her and everything. And, there's people I'll interview that, might have other things going on or whatever. We might talk a little bit afterwards, but like, it was like 3.5 hours after we got done recording. We were still talking about stuff. And I was just like, okay, it's 12:30. I got to get up for work in like 5 hours. It's like I didn't want to get off. So that was definitely one of my favorite ones for sure. But yeah, I mean, like all the different ladies that I've had on here, have always been a pleasure and fun time. And, the whole thing for me is just being able to share the stories of the other ladies out there. That's kind of been my whole kind of focus and goal, in a sense, because it's not necessarily, always about me, definitely want to highlight, the other ladies in this industry as well. So I've got some upcoming hosts that I'm getting scheduled with. So getting excited for that. But yeah, and then of course, I'm outside right now. I'm packing for Wisconsin. Going to be competing in the KBL tournament this weekend on the chain. So getting all packed up and ready for that.
You gonna go teach Brian how to fish?
I mean, I am bringing both Hobies with me. So somebody's going to be in my other boat. So I'm not going to say any names.
I think I know the answer to this one.
We'll see.
You should forget it and just like grab forget it and bring like the worst kayak you can possibly get your hands on. And like,
go buy like $100 sit inside with like 150-pound weight capacity.
Probably doesn't make it 2 feet offshore. Just thinks like a rock. He's still sitting in it like above water because he's 6'5".
Right. Shoot. I hate to do this to you guys too, but I mean, Jimmy, you're an exception, but all the rest of y'all, I mean, I kicked your asses in the bracket tournament so far. So
I'm so glad that I dodged that bullet.
Well, hey, in all fairness, you did get off a little easy there, going against Brian. So,
well, he's all about talking smack when Brian ain't right here to talk back.
I mean, I was a little worried about going up against Brian.
I don't know what happened to Milford's connection. He just like mysteriously dropped out. I just don't understand what happened. I just don't.
Oh man, look at there, automatic somehow came back.
Oh shoot! But no, when Brian and I were going live together, and he hooked into that 19, like I was a little worried. I was just like, all right, I just got to keep grinding, So I did, and it turned out pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I'm going up against Sam Jones now, so yeah.
If you get on them like you did, what was that last weekend or the week?
The weekend before, yep.
Yeah, my phone just was like do-do-doom, do-do-doom, do-do-doom. It was your name.
Oh yeah. Real quick. I know JP's got to go for work. JP, we'll give you the floor, and then we got 2 more jumping in here in the waiting room.
Guys, happy birthday. All right, let's plan on our meetup soon. And everyone who's going up to Madison, safe travels. Everyone competing, good luck, and I'll see you guys really soon.
Peace out, brother.
See you, JP.
Stay safe out there, buddy.
All right, I'm going to jump out. I'm going to bring the 2 other guys in.
Drum roll. Doo-doo!
What's up, dude?
Yeah, what's up?
And it's the Zan Perry.
He's in that plant life.
What y'all doing? Hey, what y'all doing? John, I had to run out to the admin building. I had to jump on. I'm at work, so I had to run out the gate real quick, try to get it going. Jump on real quick. I had a few minutes, so out there, I'm already sweating and my stock's already wet, so it's a tough start to the night.
You can say this is the only person getting paid to do the podcast right now. We know you're on the clock.
I'm on straight time. I just took a little break. I ran out to cool down. Figured I'd jump on real quick since I had a little shot. Yo. Woo!
Well, what was your? We were
Woo-hoo!
2 years
talking about it
old.
earlier. Dustin, what's your favorite moment on your segment of the podcast? Who your favorite guest or favorite show you've done?
Oh man, there's too many to count. I had I had some great guests on. Had a lot of local guys. Chris Castro, Tracy Debman, my tournament partner Mike Perenza. I had Brian Nelly, Jason Broach. That was a good one. And then I had my first female guest, Alexis Scott Daly, and that was a pretty cool little show. I was stoked to get a lady angler on, and she slays, man. She's been killing a lot of fish. That was a pretty fun one. So I really don't have. I mean, all of them are my favorite because I enjoy talking to everybody. My wife says I'll talk the paint off of a wall. So I don't have a problem of having diarrhea of the mouth, so I can run my mouth all over.
What about you, Dan?
And it's hard not to say Christine Fisher and Greg Blanchard. That was
a good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah. I mean, two people that I've met Christy in person before at a Hobie event, but seeing Greg so much, I'd rather watch his YouTube videos than anything on TV. So I mean, getting to talk to him, even though he's just a regular guy, somebody that it's kind of weird though, like somebody, like I've talked to him offline, outside the podcast, and it's like, do you want to bring stuff up about like where about him that from it? Because then it's like creeper. So that definitely my favorite show. But
I mean, I would say that's kind of expected though. When you put yourself out there publicly like that and you start gaining a following, that's expected, and you're a fan of his, and there's nothing wrong with that, Now it'd be really weird if you were like creating like a false profile, like
in your videos, boy.
Yeah.
It's still kind of weird when you talk like with Greg and Christine and all them people, and like you kind of like idolize them and you're a fan and everything, and then you talk to them and you're like, no, they're just normal. Yeah. And then it's like I don't know how to take this now. So like,
well, guys, I gotta jump off of here. I got some more packing to do and everything, but I wanted to jump on here for a little bit and whatnot. But happy birthday! Woo woo!
Yeah. Bye, Queen.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, I'll see you guys.
See ya.
See you later, Susie.
Come back in, Brian. Oh wait, no, not that guy.
That laugh.
Hey,
so disappointing.
Well,
who was that?
Kidding.
You'll be excited. I was just gonna say goodbye and everything.
No,
Ryan has like the most ghetto background. Like he tried to do something nice, but then like you can see behind on the sides,
he's in his shed. He's still got his garden tools in the background, and
it's like
these are fishing rods.
It's
These are
not
fishing rods.
Okay,
Okay,
it's like seeing the man behind a curtain.
You see the sweeper.
It looks like he cut open a cardboard box and stood it up in between him and all of his stuff.
Hey, give him a break. He's from Tennessee.
Paneling, okay?
Is that your sweeper?
Jeez.
Is that your sweeper behind your right shoulder?
Me and Martha got a new washer. I made a background. Check it out.
Would it be funny if he took the side off and said this side up?
Fragile.
Oh, fragile across the back of it or something.
Must be French.
I hate you. All right. But no, it was kind of a.
You're getting off because you don't want Brian to get back on, right?
Yeah. We'll see each other again on after hours. So
bum, bum, bum.
To be continued. But I just wanted to say thank you to all the listeners out there. This time last year, I jumped on for the 1 year anniversary as a guest, and I was really nervous, didn't know what to say, freezing up and everything. And then I had started Bass Fishing for Noobs as its own podcast that day and just released it. And then, Brian and the guys, they all added me in August. And so I've been here for almost a year. And I've grown so much as a fisherman and as a person. I've learned so much. I feel like I've got a lot more like friends in the fishing world and a lot more people willing to help me now and everything. And all the support that I've gotten from this, people reaching out, like, love the show and all that. That's awesome. I appreciate every single one of y'all. And I appreciate the whole team we have here to put all this together.
And
Are
like,
you gonna cry?
Yeah.
I think you're gonna cry.
No, hey man, hey, I just wanted to throw that out there.
If he cries too much, his background's gonna melt away.
like Justin said,
We love
though,
you, Milford. We love you.
everybody who's been doing the noob tournament, including you, Ryan and Sean, good job with that. Because I even have a friend here that's doing it. He's going to do his first tournament. So, I mean, that's been an awesome thing. Good job, guys.
Yeah, we got a lot of good response out of that. And, we got a cool community over there. If you are, looking to get into the the kayak tournament scene and, want somewhere to start that's not going to break the bank, join the Facebook group, the Paddle and Fin noob tournaments, and, just see what we're all about. People are willing to help and, give each other advice and everything and cheer each other on. It's awesome. And then, like, the monthly tournaments is a $10 entry fee. You ain't going to find anything, that cheap to start getting into tournaments that actually gives you a prize. We got some pretty cool prizes out there too. So if you're looking
I mean, you can get on there and mess up, and it's not really going. it's $10. It's not,
$10. Yeah,
And they'll also help you out, like tell you what you did wrong and stuff like that too. So that's perfect.
And Ryan, there's one thing I want to congratulate you on, man. So, like, through the pod, like, Ryan, for those who don't know, has literally probably the top performing podcast out of the whole group. Since I started editing them, like, when I go to edit them through Anchor, it shows me a listing of what the top performing one, and like 85% of them is bass fishing for noobs. And so, dude, I just want to tell you, guys are killing it, and keep up the good work. It's cool to see the progression from where Ryan started by himself to what he's at, what they're doing now. And when you guys added Sean, everything has been on the up for you guys, and just keep up the good work, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. And that's another thing, Sean, thank you for coming on here as a co-host and, like, stepping up and helping me out. Cause, like, I haven't, like, really said it publicly or really said it to many of you guys, but, I've talked to Brian. Like, I was about ready to hang it up for a little while because of the stress. There for a while, I was like the only segment we have that had one host that was coming out every single week. So, like, having to do it all by yourself. So I feel sorry for Brian now, like, because he's got an added stress on top of that, having to do it live on a single day.
Yeah.
But yes, that was rough. And Sean coming in, that helped me a whole lot, helping with guests and, helping fill moments where I blank out during the interview and stuff. So yeah, I appreciate you coming on and helping out with all that, man.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, man. When I first reached out to you, I kind of sent it off on a whim, and I was like, what if he says yes? And before I knew it, I was sitting there getting, live, and I was like, holy cow, how'd I get here so quick? But yes, thanks again, man. It's been an awesome ride. It's been fun. I think, we get along great, and, we've had a ton of great guests, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. So,
and good job, Sean.
Sean, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, exactly what Justin just said. Ryan, you do a great job unless you get up to go pee in the middle of
Which now that Sean's there to back him up, you can get up and go.
That's right, man.
Hey, that's the main reason I brought him on as a co-host.
E-break.
Hey, I'll wear whatever hat I gotta wear. Literally.
But yeah, I'm gonna jump out of here. Thank you all again. Happy second birthday, Paddle and Fin, and here's to many more.
And work on that background.
Doo-doo. How hot is it there?
It's just humid. It's like 87 and humid. It just rained, so it's nasty.
Yeah.
That makes the doo-doo stank.
I don't
that makes the doo-doo stank.
I gotta wear like a freaking RC coverall.
Dude, when you came on, you took me back to my old job, and I was like, "Yep, I don't miss that, man." The
Same,
90-degree humidity, hard hat, face shield, Kevlar arm guards were like a sweater, like long sleeve shirt, pants, Metagard boots. I'm like walking around like
I used to work in plants too. I don't miss it, but Doo-Doo's making that big money, that long green. So
yeah. That check I got tomorrow, I got 71 hours of overtime on top of my straight time.
Jesus, my God,
man.
Hey man, I need to holler at you. I need to hold a little.
That's why you asked me kayaks.
Yeah, that's why yesterday was my fatigue day, so that's why I was like, hey, I need everybody's address so I can get them hoodies out. Them things turned out pretty thick. I'm excited.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Nice.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
You sound tired as all get out, bro. You sound so tired.
I thought he was gonna fall asleep for a minute. He's just like, no.
Yeah, I was waiting to see him nod down while he was listening to everybody. Just
yesterday morning, so so I tried to stay up late last night. And I fell asleep about 1, I guess, and I woke up about 9, and I went back to sleep about noon. So I knew tonight's gonna be a rough one. So that's why I was all kind of trying to get hyped up. I'm glad I was kind of busy when I went in. So I'll make it another couple hours, then I'll eat, and it'll be done. Maybe we'll get some rain and it'll lighten, and we'll get like weather phases, and we'll have to shut all the work down.
Praying for bad weather.
We'll see.
Where's Dustin? I saw him in the corner praying for a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
You should have said that, because your next chance of fishing, you're gonna be like, please stay sunny. And
please stay sunny. Yep. Yeah, man. Well, happy birthday, Pal and Finn. Thanks for starting this whole mess of bunch of misfits, Brian.
Yeah. It's all good, man.
Here, man. We got us a good crew. You know, it's fun. I'm sorry I can't pull my weight right now with this thing turnaround going on, but I'm gonna try to knock one out here. I got a couple guests lined up. I'm just trying to work something out. So listeners out there, just stand by, hold fast. Dude is working. Dude's trying to make some money. I'd rather have my days off than have all that overtime, man. You know, it's life though. You gotta go, man. Now, so you know,
throws you curveballs once in a while. Sometimes you just gotta swing. You know.
For them. Oh yeah. Well, shoot, man. I had to jump on real quick, so I appreciate y'all letting me jump on.
All right, brother. Stay safe, man. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday, PNF, yo. We'll see y'all later.
Buddy.
See you
later.
Yeah, he's probably making, if it's all an overtime day, probably, over $500 a day.
Oh, man.
I miss those days, but seeing him dressed like that brought back being in welding gear and 105-degree heat, covered in grease, and that money wasn't worth that no more. So I miss it. I don't know.
My man Armando over at Bass Kayak and Beer says, I love Noob because Ryan is an awesome whistler.
I was just thinking about that yesterday.
If you haven't listened to that podcast, go check it out. It's really good. They've had a couple of y'all, but it had old Conrad,
that was a good episode, man. I listened to that yesterday.
A bunch of I've listened on Bailey was on there. I've listened to them all.
Yeah.
So he was dogging you, Brian.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Ever since I was on Armando's show, we've become pretty good friends. I know it was Saturday night. I had a drive home, and I think we were on the phone for like 2 hours just talking podcast stuff, man. And like I told him, man, I love what he's doing over there. He does like an episode, like a background life episode with his guest, and then he does a second episode with him later in the week and talks about like a tip or a trick or a tactic or whatever the guest feels they're comfortable talking about. And it's cool, man. It's super entertaining and educational at the same time, and that's the big thing, like we talked about, the Bass Fishing for Noob segment. I mean, that is a super educational show, and that's why it's popular, and that just goes back to what we're all trying to do. We got John Salmons in the chat. What's up, brother?
What's up, John?
Oh, BK
Romance.
says hashtag romance.
Hashtag.
Did you talk to Jay, see if he would be interested in coming on?
I didn't. I'm sure he's laying on his couch eating Cheetos or something.
All right, I'm gonna text him.
You can.
I miss Jay, man.
Yeah, I thought you were going to have the Godfather on.
I fished with the Godfather last night, actually, out of a big boat. That was fun, man. We hadn't hung out in a long time, and we got into some nice fish. And I thought he was going to whoop my butt for a while there, and then the old Kitech came through at the end of the night, and I stuck a couple pigs. So it was good, man. Yeah, no, he said happy birthday. He still listens. It's funny. We had a long conversation because we were in a boat together, but on whenever we do the bracket tournament, him, his brother-in-law, and his son all sit down to watch it. And if they miss like the live portion, they'll go and watch it on YouTube. So he's been digging that. Gave me a lot of grief about getting my butt kicked by Susie. But he was like, dude, that was a great matchup. Like you guys just kept going back and forth. So it was super cool. So yeah, maybe Mr. Randall will jump on here. We'll see. But like I said, he may be eating Cheetos already. But Doritos, depends on the night. But
everybody else probably already said, but I just want to stop for a second and say thank you to you, Brian. I mean, without you, none of this would be possible. And thanks, for having me on here. It's been great, man. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for all the mental breakdowns. I know that you're on like the cusp of having.
Josh can tell you all about them.
He gave me one yesterday.
Duke says, free Jay Randall. Jay Randall's free, and he's got the open door policy. It's him and I are taking a cool trip way up northern Wisconsin and middle of July. So we're going to shoot a bunch of video and do some media stuff.
We all need to get together.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. But he and I both have rooftop tents now, so we're going to do a comparison between the two. We're going to do some catch and cooks and all kinds of stuff. Duke says couples weekend. Yeah, man.
I was just about to say,
because it's a couples weekend, Duke and Dusty can join us.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's it wouldn't be possible without you guys too, man. It's crazy. And I had this conversation with the Godfather last night, and we were talking about the growth, and when we started the podcast, we really didn't think it'd be anything, and to see where it's come, and everybody that's jumped on and is a part of it, not only the host, but guys like Duke from Catch, supporting the podcast, Cody from Jig Masters, TRC Covers, like, people that support us and help spread the word. And, not only that, but, all the listeners, man. I mean, really, we would probably still do this even if nobody listened. And that was the thing. Like when we started the podcast, we're like, nobody's going to listen to us two chumps, and then to see that growth, it's been crazy. And yeah, man, it gets hectic sometimes, but it is what it is. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
You put together a good group of folks, man. Before I was even part of it, dude, it was super enjoyable to listen to.
Well, and that's just it, man. We tried to pull from all different parts of the country. I can only talk so much about Midwest fishing, and people can only listen to so much Midwest fishing. And it's cool to see the dynamic in the spread nationwide, and to see where things are going and what everybody's been doing, and not only that, everybody's got a different personality, and it's cool to see the co-host gel, like we talked about. at the beginning, Brad and Josh, like when Josh originally started on that segment, it was rough. I think that cohesiveness just wasn't there. And when Brad jumped on, that segment really skyrocketed, right? And I think it's the same thing with the Reel Down. No offense to Sam, you guys did great, but because you and Jimmy know each other, Dan, I think it's stepped up another notch. You know what I mean? It's cool to see that dynamic and what it brings to the table. Same thing with Ryan and Sean, and like Luke Coffey just commented, all the segments are full of great info, but they're also entertaining. So that's a cool thing too, man.
Unless you listen to one that me and Brian have done together. So Brian and I have attempted to do 2 or 3 together that we've had to scrap because it's so bad. It's incoherent and nasty and just obnoxious. There was one that we did. You were in a hotel and he had like the JK NRS hoodie like that Brad's got on, and he had it scrunched around his face the entire episode, dude. And
like
it was
this?
Yeah. Like, but
it was worse than that with the face mask up. Yeah.
His eyes showing. He was so tired, and I had been up too, and we yawned at least 300 times during the hour segment that we did.
Dude, I'm telling you, like that's the stuff that would make like great little like clips.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It would be money.
There's we need to throw those together on after hours or something, man. Yeah. But yeah, it's funny, man. I didn't talk about it, but I think my favorite podcasts is when I jump on the other segments. I mean, I love doing, my thing or whatever, but I like jumping on with all you guys, I've jumped in with Dan and Duke says I've had way too many hams on a certain episode. But that's the thing too, man. Like I love jumping on other podcasts, I think I feel more comfortable when I do that for some reason, it's different. And not only our podcast, but me and Brad just did one with Yak Legion. I've been on Serious Angler, Bass Kayak and Beers. I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, that's crazy too. But, like we talked about the relationships, at any given point in time, I could probably reach out to a listener or one of you guys and be fishing in any part of the country I want to, that's crazy. That's crazy to think about. You know what I mean? And, it's cool. Or like going to a tournament that's, one of you other guys have fished or, a listener or something,
and everybody's yelling. Everybody's yelling.
Coming down.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Dude, I swear to God, man, I was at a couple fishing shows and my head was on a swivel because I kept hearing it. And I was like, Jesus, like, what did I start?
Is that why you quit saying it so much?
Yeah. No, I just.
Well, some guy made fun of him too.
Who made fun of me?
Remember the comment that was left? And one dude was like, it would be great if they would just stop saying, yeah, buddy.
The dude left a review on Apple podcast.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. And whatever. But no, man, I still say it from time to time. I always switch up my sayings,
I think Susie says it more than you do now.
She does. She does. Totally.
It's tough being on here sometimes. Somebody will call you out, say something. Some dude call me a homo. I got friends who are gay. I don't have a problem with that at all.
That was odd.
Some dude just straight in a comment like, Dan, this. I'm like,
yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah.
A keyboard warrior. That's
I didn't know that. That's hilarious.
That was odd because I was running everything behind the scenes and I see these comments popping up and it was like it was over the line. You know what I'm saying? Like once in a while we slip a curse word in there or something. And this dude was just straight up rowdy. And I was like deleting them. And as fast as I was deleting his comments, they were popping up. We try to keep it family friendly here. And I ended up having to block the guy. So
I didn't know there was more than one. I only saw that one.
Yeah, no, there was more than one. Sorry, bro.
To me?
Yeah, they were all directed to you. I could probably tell you what they were after this is over.
Wow.
Justin Staley dropped a comment in here. I wanted to read this because this is cool. I really appreciate how much you honor other podcasts. It helps spread the different perspectives in the kayak fishing community. And I know I've talked about this many times before is, I always get that Facebook message or text message or whatever, and it's like so-and-so started a podcast. I'm like, awesome. They're like, you're not worried? And I'm like, no. Like, the way I describe something, the way all 5 of you describe something, or the way you approach an interview is going to be different from the next one. I think
totally instrumental in helping some other podcasts like Scott. Like you helped Scott get started.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when Butcher was doing the lives, he reached out to me and he was like, hey, how do I turn these lives into a podcast? And I set that up and I uploaded a bunch of them. And, that's the thing too. Shout out to Butcher. Where you at, bro? Where you at?
Shout him out wherever he is.
No, I know he's been busy with some other stuff, and word on the street is he'll be back real soon. So it's cool, man. I mean, it's all about spreading the love and building the community up. That's the way I look at it. If we all succeed at, this crazy sport, why not? And that's the thing too. Like right now with the COVID, you're seeing so many people getting into kayaks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And now is the time to really be pushing the content, because that's educating people. The last thing I want to read about is 100 people dying of drowning this year because they weren't wearing PFDs.
No. I think there's not only are we going to see a major boom next year, whenever people kind of get more and they've been in a while and they start to progress and either want to do tournaments or just are more interested. But but like you were saying with the podcast, I think the route that we went on, directed by you, has been a conscious. We're going to be a positive voice in the industry. Like I love some other stuff and I'm a part of it. And sometimes that part's really good. But for us, we want to be, the positive voice and we're supporting everybody, the other podcasts, the other anglers, the brands. We don't brand bash on here, except for, like Lightning, they're garbage. I mean, the couple of knockoff companies.
Are they even making those? Like, I haven't seen anything about those recently.
You got to go on a field trip to see one.
We call them the Bonobi.
Where's Sam?
Sam is trying to build a kayak rack in his garage.
Oh,
he saw
grocery getter to fish getter.
Yeah, he saw my rack in my garage when.
Whoa!
Yeah, that was kind of wrong. But he saw my kayak rack in my garage when he was up here a couple weeks ago. So he's trying to replicate it. I was sending him all kinds of dimensions and directions before we started. So
I'm the one that said I like vans. Like I think that's a good idea. Like
I like the idea of the cargo van. I didn't think that he would jump straight into like the soccer mom van and like yak fish it out.
Soccer Sam. Soccer Sam.
Hey, he was rocking an Impala before. At least now he's got so much more,
Like I've been scrolling through like Astro vans and box fans, and then he posted that picture up, and I was like, maybe I should rethink this.
That's something me and Randall have talked about for a long time. Is the cargo van build out? Because I built my trailer out and I just sold it to Justin Staley, who's making some modifications to it himself, but. That's one thing that Jay and I have always talked about, like doing a cargo van build and then doing like a 50-state tour and like all video content, like all kayak stuff. We'll see.
Dude, I like Cody Milton's setup, man. That is freaking sweet.
That sprinter's dope.
I thought he had a sprinter.
Whoa, bro. Whoa. I'm going blind, man. Jesus.
That was hot. And that Logan Martin event, Cody Milton, not only, I guess he sleeps in it, but
is that the moon on his head?
He pulled that van out of the water and launched his kayak out of the back of the van.
Yeah. I saw that on a video on YouTube. I was like, dang.
It was impressive.
Yep.
Yeah, I think his is the Ford Transit. Like, it's sick though.
Is it a Transit?
It's a
pretty
big,
sure it is because we have one of those at work, and it is huge, man.
I thought it was a Sprinter, but I could be wrong. 100%. I haven't seen it in a while.
It was big. It's a big one though.
Yeah. Yeah, man. We're over an hour, so I'll let you guys say your piece, and then I'll close this thing out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. I'll go first. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks again, Brian, and look forward to another at least 2 years. So thank you.
You got to say your tagline now.
Wear your PFDs.
Yes. I love that.
That's funny.
Be safe. Just be safe.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid.
We're gonna make Noob 2.0 throw his tongue twister at the end of his goodbye.
All right. Well, I'll get it out of the way then. Thank you so much for letting me be on here. Thank you. I love this crew. I love, just being able to chat fishing with all you guys and all the awesome people we talk to. I love being part of the Noobs Tourney and the group that we got over there. Shout out to Ryan. Thanks for letting me be a part of Bass Fishing for Noobs. And we're bringing you the techniques, the tricks, and the tips to help you rip more lips.
There it is.
Yes.
He's been practicing. He sits in front of the mirror at night and he's like runs through it.
Cheat sheet.
Be rad.
Thanks, everybody.
Short and sweet.
Typical Brad. Straight to the point, man.
I'll tell you what, out of anybody that's probably been on here, Brad's probably had the most growth out of anybody. Like, I think growth both as a host and as an angler, and just
yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, Brad has got like brand content like promoting.
You really do.
Down.
He's got that dialed in, man.
Like
the Instagram,
your
the social
content
media
you post
stuff
all the time is killer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, dude, I feel like you could take that as far as you wanted it to in the industry. Dead serious.
I know you have some sponsors, and that's great. But if anybody else from another brand's watching this, you need to look at Brad's stuff because he's putting out content like that's up there with anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't feel like I do anything special.
Oh, shut up, Brad. Just take the compliment, dude.
Thank you.
Hey, man.
I've told you the same thing 100 times, and he says, "What? Confused ass look. What? Don't."
Yeah,
like,
I don't.
You do good. You do good, man. You're killing it.
I don't know who this is, but somebody in the comments just said Brad looks confused about people saying good stuff about him.
I don't feel worthy, dude. I never do.
You gotta stop.
I'm a normal.
But see, I think that's key though. Brad keeps himself humble, and I think that's part of his success. I will say,
or maybe he really is confused.
I think he's confused.
Probably.
He's humble. He's humble.
He is. Brad does a
he's
good
humble.
job. But no, Brad, seriously, dude, I've told you that 100 times when we've been out fishing, man. Like, keep doing what you're doing. The growth is, it's badass. It's Justice Daily.
I'm going to be making more of those videos every time I'm on the water.
That laugh was truly evil, man.
I got an idea with the Torpedo. I'm going to be standing on my boat, and I'm going to be standing like this and have the Titanic music playing.
That's great.
I don't have the GoPro yet. Maybe for Christmas because I bought so much stuff, but I've got a lot of stuff coming. So
nice.
Hold on, Brad. Let's do more video, right? And I'm going to push like a login from you, and I want you to crash into it like the Titanic also. We'll do this in a good, safe manner, and we'll set it up. You can yell for Jack and everything. So
take everything on the front, like be up at the front.
Yeah.
I'm the king of the gang.
You got to do that with
Never let go, Jack.
You got to do that with the dry suit, and I fall on a piece of ice.
And then the next video is him holding onto the log, just floating along. It's freezing, but it's 90 out.
Like he laid out on the front and just go by the camera.
Oh boy. Oh,
That'll turn
boy.
into one of them doing the draw me like one of your French girls. I
Oh,
guarantee.
no.
Jeez.
I thought you were drinking barbecue sauce.
Oh man, Jimmy, we'll let you say your goodbyes, and then we'll go to Josh.
Well, first, happy birthday. That's pretty cool to come in soon enough to catch this. And thanks out to Dan for getting me involved in it. I had mentioned to him after I'd been on the final cast about, if anybody ever needs another host, I'd been thinking about getting into it. And again, like Sean was saying, I was like, whatever. And then like, it wasn't like 3 weeks later. He was like, hey, do you have any free time? And I was like, when? And he was like, ever. Monday nights. And here we are. And then we went live, and it's fun. Got to meet a bunch of, or I don't say meet, talk to a bunch of cool guests. And I'm sure we're going to come up with all sorts of other good shows. And, shout out to all y'all. Y'all do a great job. And Brian, especially you, taking care of everything. And thanks to all the listeners. And I hope we keep reaching more people, and just anything anybody needs to hear, I hope we cover it somehow. So,
yeah, can you announce your thing from today?
I probably could, but I think I'll wait.
Thing from today.
I heard back from something I've been really hoping for today, and I'm just waiting. It's already a done deal, but I asked a question, so I haven't got to sign a piece of paper yet. So, but
well, congrats on that thing from today, whatever it may be.
We'll give one little shout out because this gets some people that usually don't see our show. If you on Gunnersville, August 8th, Jimmy's the director for Bass Nation, Alabama, and come down, fish our Gunnersville tournament. If you're a member in another state, you don't have to pay the fees in Alabama. It's just one fee that you've already paid, if you've already paid it, and you can come fish Alabama.
And 10% of the field will qualify for the Bassmaster Classic next year. I can't stress that. We're going to have a big payout, lots of prizes, and then you get a chance to go whoop up on everybody next year.
And you can come practice 2 months or a month, 2 months before the Gunnersville National Championship.
Yep.
So it'll give you a chance for that too.
So small shameless plug there, but we'll take it.
Nice. Josh?
TP? Sup?
Sup?
Sup? Yeah. But I don't, man, I just want to say thanks to Brian. As I've started to kind of help Brian start editing the pods and that sort of thing, it kind of really opened my eyes on how much work has really truly goes into it behind the scenes. So Brian, thanks for everything that you've been doing, man. Like, I know it gets real stressful, or you deal with a lot of different personalities. I know all our personalities can clash from time to time. And, we haven't had any big blow ups, and everybody still stays pretty tight. So, thank you for dealing with, like they said before, the misfits. And thank you to all the other guys, man. Like, I from being on the pod and being a fan of the pod prior, I listened to like a little bit, but I didn't really know about Paddle and Fin until like Brian and Justin. And it's crazy. And I want to say thanks to everybody here in Ohio. Like, Ohio's loves this podcast, especially in the Dayton, Cincinnati area. It's really big. So, I mean, I have a lot of friends that are like, dude, like, you guys are doing a pod, and they don't even realize it's not like based around like Chicago or Ohio.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, dude, we've got people from everywhere. There's something for everybody. But thanks for all the other hosts, man. It's been a fun ride. It's fun to listen to. It's fun to interact with everybody. I can't wait till we all can get together and fish. Finally, it's gonna be epic. It's gonna be a good time. I think we're gonna make some awesome video out of it. What?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't forget the cheese.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna bring like a case
and the cake pops.
But yeah, and
man,
and thanks to all the listeners, man. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to kind of continue to do this. We appreciate the feedback. Like we've all mentioned before, like, if you guys have ideas that you want to see something, always throw them out. Reach out to us at the Paddle and Fin email or Facebook or message us, anything, message any of us. Well, we're all really good about responding back. So just make sure that, you hit one of us up and we'll keep trying to pump out the content. And thanks to all of our show sponsors, dude. Like we've had a lot of support. I know, like with Catch and TRC and Angler and all of them, like they help spread the word. It's awesome seeing the stuff that Angler does, all the time. Like Cody's real good about it. Like, Cody over at Jigmasters, he helps do a lot of this, gift card stuff for us, like, for the noobs tournament. And it's just, it's been a wild ride. I've had a ton of fun doing it. And I'm looking forward to even start getting some videos out there. I know I haven't done it yet, but I'm trying to kind of not perfect it, but just make it good. I did a video that I shared for just a host, just to see, get some like personal feedback about like transitions and stuff. Cause I'd like to make it look good. I don't want to just be like, here's me, fishing for my cell phone video, so it'll be exciting to see what Dan comes up with next. It's always fun to see Brad's goofy Torquedo videos and pissing me off when I'm at work and he's posting giant smallmouth and rivers that I'm probably sitting next to. He could be fishing over the bridge while I'm over here working. Like, I don't even know it. But
man. Right on, dude. So I'm gonna throw this out here. March 30th, we hit 100, broke 100K listens on the podcast. Right now, between YouTube and all the podcast platforms, we're at 158,100 plays.
Jeez, dude, that's crazy.
Awesome.
With that being said,
my mom's at least 100 of them.
The others Ryan's family.
Dude, my family doesn't even know I'm on a podcast.
My family doesn't care I'm on a podcast.
But with that being said, I got to thank all the listeners, everybody that has supported us throughout this whole crazy journey. If you would have asked me 2 years ago that I'd be sitting here talking to all of you guys that I never knew existed, and was looking at numbers like that, I'd tell you were out of your freaking mind. But it's been a crazy ride, and I'm looking forward to continuing it and growing it and continuing to do new and better and cool things, not only for all of us, but for all of you out there listening. So from all of us here, we want to say huge thanks to all of our hosts who dedicate all their free time to, recording these podcasts and getting that information out there to help you guys and gals enjoy your time on the water. I mean, that's the biggest thing, and helping grow the community and the sport and continuing that camaraderie that you hear so much about when it comes to kayak fishing. Recently, like there was a lot of headbutting, but I think with this whole COVID thing, you've seen that kind of turn 180, and you're not seeing that as much, and you've seen people come back together and get along and encourage and uplift each other, and that's very special to see. So, as always, boys and girls, tight lines, smooth paddling. Peace.
See ya.
See ya.